Hello, I'm Jordan, you're not, and this is my countdown to the absolute best movies of 2019. Now remember, these are just my opinions, but this is my channel and my word is law. So let's start with number 10. Number 10 is going to be Rob Zombie's 3 from Hell. Because it was good to see the old gang back together again 14 years after the Devil's Rejects came out. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when I very first saw the Devil's Rejects back in 2005, I hated it. I didn't even see the original House of a Thousand Corpses, and it just didn't appeal to me at the time. But when it was announced that Rob Zombie was gonna do a remake to my all-time favorite movie, Halloween, I went back and gave it a rewatch, and it kind of grew on me. Now, Sherry's acting was a lot. She was like crazy in this movie. She's like schizophrenic, and she sees this little ballet cat dancer. It kind of reminded me of David Lynch's Eraserhead, which I might review sometime next year. Next, I'm going to go with, for number 9, I pick Rambo Last Blood. Now, this was a good action flick, but it didn't really quite feel like a Rambo movie per se. Like, the first 3 movies, they feel like Rambo. 4, kind of feels like Rambo. This one, it just feels like any other, like a Sylvester Stallone movie, but they just made it Rambo like at the very last second. Like he doesn't even have his long hair or that bandana thing he was wearing. It was a good, yeah, it's good. I liked it. But it didn't feel like Rambo. Next, Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood for my number 8. Now, you may not know this because I hide it so well, but I don't particularly care for all of Quentin Tarantino's movies. Like Reservoir Dogs, Kill Bill's kind of Death Poop, Inglourious Bastards. But the ones I do like are Django and the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and The Hateful Eight and Pulp Fiction. Now this movie is set in 1969, I believe, and it's visually beautiful. Like everywhere you look, it's like 1960s. So Tarantino really did his research with this. Very very well done, and it kind of has the Charlie Manson murders and so, but don't expect it to be historically accurate with the way it ends. For number 7, I'm gonna go with Crawl, the one with the alligator in the like there's a storm in I think it's Florida maybe, and there's like this dad stuck in this basement. His daughter goes and checks on him, and there's alligators in the basement with them. So like the whole movie is just they're trying to get away from these alligators. It's short, sweet, and to the point. And yes, the dog survives. That's all I cared about. I just want to see if that little dog made it. For number 6, I'm going to go with the Child's Play remake, which stars Mark Hamill as the voice of Chucky this time. Now, the Child's Play movies, they're like my 3rd favorite horror series. It goes Halloween, Friday the 13th, and then Chucky. But Chucky was actually my first introduction into the horror genre. So, this movie it's not about a serial killer who puts his soul into a doll. This is just a doll gone haywire. Like it's like artificially intelligent doll, and some guy or a disgruntled worker at a factory messes with the tampers with the machinery of it, and then Chucky kind of starts getting his own opinions and things, and he kind of just goes crazy. And honestly, I kind of felt bad for Chucky about half the time in the movie because he didn't understand. And all the kids were watching watching the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, and they were like laughing at it, and he was like, "Oh, the people dying gives you pleasure? Oh, okay." So, but yeah, I really liked it. It was different, and it was good and bloody too. That's what I love. Number 5, I go with Brittany Runs a Marathon, which stars is it Jillian Bell? And this movie actually really inspired me, by the way. It's on Amazon Prime. She's a heavy overweight woman luckily, I mean, I'm in top physical shape, so this has nothing to do with my life. So she goes to the doctor and finds out, she's overweight and she has something wrong with her liver and she wants to start running a little bit. And so one day she runs a block. Next day she runs another 2 blocks. Then and later she runs a mile. And then she makes some new best friends, and they all want to run a marathon. So yeah, she makes big changes in her life, and it's actually really inspiring and empowering. I'm not lying. I give it an A+, honestly. I mean, it's so good that I'm not gonna do a whole video of it because I don't like to review good movies. That's not the Jordan way. Nope. Number 4, I go with Avengers Endgame. This movie was 3 hours long, and it had time travel, and it has superheroes, and then they all got together at the end. They all took on Thanos, and even Howard the Duck had a little cameo. That's most important. Number 3, I'm going to go with Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. Now, this was to me, this was one of the most anticipated movies for me, but honestly, I'm not the biggest Fast and Furious fan, but Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, and Jason Statham together, that's like gold. It's like those old cheesy buddy cop movies from the 80s and 90s, but it's done really well here. Like the whole time there's like bickering and arguing and roasting each other throughout the whole thing. And then, like, in the last 30 minutes, they, like, come to a mutual respect for each other, which, that's awesome. And then they just, beat up the bad guys and punch them out, and they just make jokes with each other. Yeah. Number 2, I'm going to go with Ready or Not. It's about this woman who marries into a rich family, and then they all try to hunt her down and kill her before dawn. That's it. Now, the reason I put this in my favorites list is because of the very end of it. The last 5 minutes is what made the movie for me. Now, to me, it's like that movie. It's like the book I read in high school, the most dangerous game, where this guy tries to hunt this guy on an island, and if he doesn't find him, he'll live. But so it's kind of like Rob Zombie's 31 also. Okay, so that's that's 9 so far. So what do I pick for my number 1? I pick Joker. It's an awesome case study of how Arthur was it Fleck? I hope it's Fleck. I'm sorry. Of how this depressed middle-aged man slowly descends into madness and becomes the Joker. It was just it's a really good movie. It's it's kind of like a Criminal Minds episode or a case study to see how one thing leads to another and how he just descends into madness and just goes crazy and just wants to kind of go around. Like, about maybe 5 or 6 people die through the movie, but it's not like don't expect a huge body count. And don't expect too much action. One thing I didn't too much care for was that they brought in Thomas Wayne, Bruce Wayne's dad, and then Bruce Wayne as a little kid. And of course they had to, spoilers by the way, of course they had to show Bruce Wayne's parents die again. Isn't that like the 5th time they've done that? Show Bruce Wayne's parents die? That gets old. I need a beer. That's some good shit. Okay, that's my top 10 list. Now I'm going to go over some movies, some honorable mentions. Just, movies that, that were good, that I liked, but that probably wouldn't be considered the best. First, I'm going to go with Glass, which is the 3rd in a trilogy to Unbreakable. They start with Unbreakable, and then Split, and then Glass. It's the crossover between Bruce Willis's character and James McAvoy's character and Samuel L. Jackson. And, James McAvoy has like 27 personalities, and he's going to release the beast and have him fight Bruce Willis's character. Next, It Chapter 2, which is Megan's favorite movie. So if you see my best friend Megan out in the world, go up to her and talk about It Chapter 2 with her, because she loves that. Next, Shazam. Now, the thought of a young kid just randomly turning into like you just say the word Shazam, and then he just turns into an adult. That's a pretty cool concept. I wish I could turn back into a kid. Being an adult sucks. Okay, next, John Wick Chapter 3. And that's on par with Hobbs and Shaw, and what else did I say? Yeah, just Hobbs and Shaw. Just having them, Keanu Reeves just going around shooting people. That's it. Next, Brightburn, which is like a parallel alternate version of what if Superman went evil. That was it's a very interesting story to see, like this boy, like kind of, it's like if Michael Myers was Superman, basically. Last but least, I put Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. So I'm probably never gonna review like Star Wars by itself. I never say never, so I don't know. But I saw it. I actually saw it the night before that it came out. I'm not a big Star Wars geek or nothing, and I don't worship Star Wars and like the ground that it lightsabers on. But I do like the movies. I like the originals, and I like the new series. The prequels suck. They're terrible. So everyone seemed to hate The Last Jedi for some reason. I thought it was alright. But then we have The Rise of Skywalker, which is the final chapter in the Skywalker series. So I don't know if they're going to do like Star Wars Episode 10, have it be about something else, like Halloween 3. But there's a couple parts that even I didn't like in this last series, this last episode. But overall, I enjoyed it. Had a good conclusion to the Star Wars overall. Okay, that's my top 10 best movies of 2019, and then my runners-up. And I hope you liked them and respect them and appreciate them. So why don't you tell me your favorite movies of 2019? You could write me in the comments, or we can take this outside and fight about it. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe to me, and share me around, because I'm a hoe.